Well, howdy there. This is Grandpa Silas. I'm just coming along and just sharing some stories of things that I experienced back a long time ago. Now, I look darn pretty good, for my age. You know why? It's because I eat good victuals. That's right. Good old possum and grits and gravy and some biscuits and corn on the cob and some good old apple cider and corn squeezins. Now the corn squeezins I use is not like what you think. Now I just take the corn, squeeze, get the juice out of it, and sit there and have some sugar in it, and maybe some different kind of herbs like mint. Yeah, tastes pretty darn good. I'm telling you right now. Now, excuse me. Now, just to let you know right off, is that I don't care if you don't want to believe my stories. You weren't there, so how would you know? I ought to know, 'cause I've been there and experienced all kinds of stuff. Now, let me tell you something. Now, you got these people out here with these history books, and I'm going to tell you right now. Now, those history books don't tell you everything that happened. Good thing you just run across old Grandpa. That's right. Oh, you just don't. Yeah, you just sit there and let me tell you the things that has happened that is not recorded. I'll share all those stories in time as you go along. Now, I lived a long time, and I've been around the corners and up and around the hills and through the valleys and across the rivers and you name it. I've sit there and experienced, parts of history that a lot of you would just sit there and just be envious. But anyway, I want to sit there and tell you about how I tamed the bear. Now, this wasn't just any old bear. This was it was a big old bear, you know. It was almost like a grizzly bear. That name was a big one. Now, this was out a long time back, around. Think it was around 18. Oh, give me a minute here. It was. Oh, what was that? Now, it's been a long time. Okay, that was around 1889, I do believe. Around in that area somewhere. It was out in the mountains of Tennessee. That's right. Now, I love my dog. I got Gimpy Jr. Had a lot of Gimpies. You know, kept my original Gimpy. He sired some pups, and it'd been some that looked just like him, and then some like his ma. But I tell you one thing though, always kept a good, faithful old Gimpy. Great hunting dog. Good, he sit there and help me out in a lot of situations. But me and him, we been up in those mountains there in Tennessee, and we'd been a hunting and for possum and raccoon and doves and quail and turkey and deer and bear and you name it. We of course I do recall sometimes on those little occasions where old Gimpy Jr. just sat there and get himself in all kinds of a pastoral trouble. So there was times he ended up coming limping back, and he had all them porcupine quills all sticking in his face. I tell you what, there's a lot of quills in there. It took a good while to get them things out, but I remember we'd been out hunting, and I recall it was early morning. Early morning. That's right. Now, it was a little cloudy, and it was a little cool around there. It was right around just about at sunrise, really. So anyway, I recall, he was now my dog Gimpy. He was faithful, and he followed my commands. Most of the time. He like a kid, taking notion of sitting there being obstinate at times, but he was pretty good doing what he was told. So I remember, we got us some quail, and I had strapped them things on him and told him go on home. So he did. So I was sitting out there looking to see what else I could find, and trying to look at new areas to go hunting at. So anyway, I recall. I recall this very well. I'm telling you, you gotta listen up. Now, I was in there. There was this stream, and just on the other side of the stream, I recall there was like a dip down in there, and you couldn't see what was down in that dip, you know, unless you was right up on it. So I said I'd check that out, see what was all down there. So I go over there, walk across the stream, and I'll be darned, there was a big old bar. They're just laying there eating some berries and, you know, berries, little fruit things you stick in your mouth and do some chawing on and enjoying the sweet juices from them. Sometimes you can get some of the sweet and sour taste on them. Mm. But anyway, I sit there and I stopped, and now I had a 50 caliber Hawkins with me, a 50 caliber Hawkins rifle. Now, remind you that you have to put the powder in and the wadding and all that kind of stuff, and not to mention you got to put the lead ball in there. Prime that sucker, put that down in there in that barrel, and all that kind of stuff. But you only get one shot at a time. Excuse me. Oh, all right. Name where was I? Oh yeah, I recall. Well, that I had to think things out, because I only could get one shot at it, at a time, and then you have to practice on doing all the priming with the powder and the wadding and with the lead ball. So anyway, it was loaded, but I was sitting there thinking I could shoot it, but I don't need to shoot it right now. There'll be another time unless that thing, uh, you know, come at me or something, right? So anyway, I recall that thing. He got up and looked at me, and then I realized it wasn't a he, it was a she. And there was a couple of them baby cubs around there, like, oh my, I am in big trouble. So I'm sitting there backing up, and I had my faithful rifle, my Hawkins, and I had it in ready, backing up. And, well, wouldn't you know it? Yeah, I got to that stream, and as I'm backing up, well, my foot slipped, and boy, down I went into the water. And so did my Hawkins. Well, needless to say, I wasn't going to get no shot with that gun, that rifle. No way, no how. However, I do carry a big knife with me. Yes, I do. So anyway, I decided, well, the best thing that I can do at this moment and situation is if I have to go down, I'm going to take that dang bar with me. And I don't like doing that with a mall bear with her cubs. But when you're put in that situation, you got to do what you got to do. So anyway, the thing bear came right up there on me. And next thing you know, we had a tussle. And I want to tell you right now, Daniel Boone didn't have nothing on me. Because back in those days, now, I could put up a big scrap with any kind of bar. So me and that bar went around. That bar had me pinned down there for a little bit, and I'd take out my big old bowie knife and I'd stab that sucker right in her paw. Or she let out a holler and she'd try to bite me, and I'm sitting there, put my knife in her mouth, and she clamped down on that, and I'm sitting there kicking it and everything else. But needless to say, I'm not going to bore you with all the details. It was like what is it they got him nowadays? Like one of them wrestlers. Like what they call that? WWE, I think it is. Anyway, well, and the wind was a flapping and the earth was a shaking. Well, and I'm telling you one thing. When it was all said and done, I was on top of that bar. Now, I could have done that bar in real good, but I didn't. Decided I'd spare that bar. But you know what? That bar had a deep respect for me. Yep, for old Grandpa Silas. And I had a respect for that bar. So, next thing you know, I ended up taming it. I mean, teaching it to trust me and all this, and she never, after that, never bothered to hurt me at all. She allowed me to play and mess around with her babies, her cubs. And I want to tell you something though, it wasn't easy, but I had that bar trained. Well, I ain't kidding you. I could sit. I had that bar helping me. She would help, with the plowing. When I needed to plow the field, help me picking cotton. That's right. Even helped me picking beans and corn on the cob. She'd have them baskets around there were helping, loading up. She was real good. She was real good. Heck, she was good. She'd protect our place, and she never bothered Gimpy. And Gimpy amazingly didn't bother with that bar. Well, because that bar reminded me of a temperament of one old gal from way back in 1850. I sit there and I thought, well, she got the same kind of spirit and everything, so I was just gonna call her Bessie. Yep, I called her Bessie. And Bessie was a good old bar. But I tell you what, she was good, boy. She wouldn't allow anyone around there unless I sit nodded my head. If she watched, she'd listen. If I gave a low whistle, she would stand back, but she'd keep an eye. And if I gave a sharp whistle, boy, she knew that meant attack. Yeah. Well, I could tell you more, all right, but I'm not going to do that. But one thing I am going to do is just say that if you want to hear some more stories, I can tell you about, if you want to hear about Jesse James, or if you want to hear about Billy the Kid or Buffalo Bill, and you want to sit there and hear about certain characters like which I did have my run-ins with, like what's his old face? What they call him? Adolf. Yeah, Adolf over there. Guy with the, I don't know what his problem was. He loved them little short mustaches. I mean, it's like, really? You mean he going to sit there and wear a dumb old short little silly mustache? Uh, anyway, I can tell you about how I fixed his wagon and some other things that has happened, in back in the day. So if you would like to hear some of those stories, just tell me you'd like to. And if you would, my nephew, Warhorse, now he sits there. You need to go to his channel, check him out. He does some good stuff on there. Got some singing on there and talking on there, and yeah, you got all that. But anyway, you can just come on over and on here whenever I'm on. Excuse me. And just join right in the fun, and we can all sit around. Well, you can sit around. What is that? Computer or whatever it is you're using, and just have a seat and just come on around, and we we'll have some tales to tell, and that's no fibbers. That's right. And that's the truth. That's right. So you just come on anytime if you'd like to just listen and get a little chuckles here and there and all this kind of good stuff. Well, just do so and hit that like button. Is that what they call that? Yeah, the like button. That thing that looks like with a thumbs up. Yeah. And if you want, you can subscribe and just join in and right along with this old timer, right? Okay. And you be like family. That's right. You be like my great nephews or and nieces and such. You know. So just go ahead and do all that, and we'll come back another day. And oh, by the way, since Christmas is around the corner, let me just say this: Merry Christmas. And I can tell you some good old Christmas stories too. Things that had happened back in the day. Well, all right. Now you just take it easy and have a good night and a good day wherever you may be. That's right. So I'll get y'all later and just let me say this. Y'all come back now, you hear?